All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to the first WhiteFox review we've had. This is Plat 1 console. They say, I need to learn how to properly position and use my ult properly. Okay, simple, sweet, to the point. This VOD was posted like 2.5, 3 weeks ago almost. So, I'm sorry it's a bit late, but when the new season comes out, I usually take some time to learn the character, understand, have the meta develop. And then on top of that, it was just Easter. So I apologize that this is so late, but here we are. Let's get started with this review. For it. Let's see what we can learn. Okay. Okay, so we have our first issue. With WhiteFox, learning to manage her abilities is actually really difficult because you have to be very good at reading the whole picture of what's going on, right? So if we go all the way back, right, we're watching, and then we have all three of our tails. We're kind of spamming our aim down main. With WhiteFox, it's really important that you actually aim well because of how her healing works. So just as an example, how her healing works is she throws this orb, it hits one thing, and then it bounces once. I said one thing. If it hits a person, then it does a big chunk of healing, and then it jumps to another person, a teammate, I should say. It jumps to another teammate, and it does a little chunk of healing. Okay, so first bounce, a lot of healing. Second bounce, a little healing. So if you miss your shot, that one missed. Okay, this one missed, and then it bounced off. Let's slow it down so you can see. So that one hit. That one missed. It hit the shield, and then it's not yours anymore. No, it hit the shield, and then it comes back for Strange, okay? So you missed, and then now instead of Strange getting big healing and then Scarlet Witch getting little healing, now Strange gets little healing and Scarlet Witch gives none. So aiming on this character is actually really important, a lot more important than people think. So that's the first thing. Make sure you're not just, spamming down your aim like you would on, like, I don't know, Cloak. So you definitely really need to do that. The next thing is we already use our teleport. Teleport is a, 12-second cooldown? 12-second cooldown. So now we're going to go 12 seconds without that cooldown, which is probably the most important cooldown that she has. Now that we don't have it, we're in danger. And then what does teleport do? First of all, it moves you. Duh. It heals everybody that you teleport to. I think they get like 70 health or something like that, but that could be wrong. But you get a little bit of burst healing. Then you're close to them, so you can pump out more healing. And it throws out a shield, right? So that's 4 different things. All 4 of those things, you didn't meet any of the requirements for using those, right? So right here we see like nobody's hurt, so we didn't get any use of the bonus health. Nobody's under threat of like an ult or needs to be shielded. So but again, didn't really get any use of that. Strange still has all of his shield. We weren't in danger, right? So there's no reason to teleport. And then we didn't need to be close to anybody. So we kind of just don't use our ability for what it's worth. It ends up working out, but like it would have worked out anyway. Now we have a situation where there's a cap in our backline. It'd be great to just teleport. Honestly, right here, you could even just teleport to your invis here. That would put up a shield around you guys, so you wouldn't take extra damage from anybody else. This Captain America would no longer be able to get healed for 200 health because of the shield, and you wouldn't have to use your melee form. But because of that, now we have to go in melee form, which has a downside. We do get the Captain America off, but what is his goal? His goal is to get you to stop healing these people. That's his goal. The main way that they do that is they try to kill you, especially in lower elo, because it's actually possible to kill you. But that's not his goal. That's a way to achieve the goal, right? Because if he kills you, you're in spawn, you're no longer healing, and then they can get a push. But he doesn't even have to kill you guys here, because look how long you stay in melee form where you can't heal this person. And then you guys lose your frontline tank. So this was a successful dive. And then it didn't have to happen like that. So it's really important as WhiteFox to have a big picture understanding of everything that's going on here. So that way you can use your abilities when you actually need them and you don't waste them when you don't, if that makes sense. So what could we have done better here is realize what our abilities are for and then what requires them to pull them out, right? So I really don't like that we're using our I want to call it right click, but our charm, right? The charm is really good. We haven't talked about that yet, but the charm is very good for anti-dive purposes. So let's talk about a few of the things that charm can do. Anti-dive, right? It stops people from using their movement ability. So if a Hulk jumps in and you charm him on his way out, it's very likely he's going to die if he's a bad Hulk. Same thing for Cap, same thing for BP, Spider-Man, things like that. It can really mess up characters like that. If they're full diving, it can slow them down and save you a little bit. It can be used for burst healing. It can be used for canceling ults, enemy ults, if you're really, really good with it. So all three of those things are like great. Now spamming it down main when everybody's full health, not really all that useful. It can do some damage theoretically, but like you're not really doing anything with it, right? So the other thing is you use your tail. Like now you don't have it and it's on a cooldown. So you have no tails and no cooldown. And then now Cap dives in and he's on your invis. So now would be a great time to do it. Here he is. You charm him there. He probably dies. Look at his health. Like he's so low. So because we're not using our abilities correctly, we lost this whole fight. So the way that you think about learning new characters or anything like that is you try to see all the things that their abilities can do, and then you pick up the right situation to actually use them, okay? People are also saying in chat, that's definitely true. It does give decent ult charge. So if you throw it through a lot of people, you can build your ult really quickly. However, in order to play for that, you have to know what you need to save it for. So the better scenario is like, okay, they don't have any dive, so I don't need to save it for dive. It's the beginning of a fight, so they probably don't have ults. And I already have 3 tails, right? Because that'd be great, because then you can go for 6 seconds without having it and be fine. So that's why I say, like, you really need to have this, like, top-down view of this character, of what all the things you need to do. Then here we make the same mistake. We throw our charm out, and then now that we need our charm, we don't have it. Am I receiving a phone call? Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm back. Okay. So this is a lot of the same mistakes that we already talked about. Once again, yeah, you got to be really careful of teleporting towards the whole enemy team. That's not good. Yes, all good. All good. Oh, that's a much better charm. See, your team was low. Watch this from the Captain America's perspective. I just really want to make a point of this, right? So Captain America's diving on your team, jumps in, gets charmed, gets hit, and is like, I can't. I need to get out. Immediately jumps out, right? This is a much better use of your charm. So good. And then we blow our cooldown. Yeah, we're just like using all of our abilities. So once again, we use our tail when we don't need it, right? We're just using our abilities when they're not needing it. We teleport here. Everybody was at full health. They don't really need a shield because, you know, we have a strange with a shield. We use our charm in Iron Man, who's floating up, and now we have no tails. And now there's a blade in our face, and our team really needs help. So like now we could throw our tail out, right? So much better if we do that. Glad you did not ult there. Okay, this is the best teleport that you've done so far. So this is a great use of WhiteFox's teleport, right? When you have an off-angling DPS, it's very important to try to keep them alive. So I love this TP, just the execution was off. I really just want to make a point of like, this is what TP is for, right? This is so good. If you're a little bit faster, we can save him and then we're fine. All right, so we haven't ulted yet. We do need to talk about the ult at some point. I'm hoping I'm finding it. So the way that you think about support ults previously. So I'm assuming you're a support player, and now you're learning the new support. Support ults previously, with like 2 or 3 exceptions, were basically a defensive button. It was just like, just use it defensively until you get to like Celestial and up there. You just use it defensively. It's like, my whole team's gonna die. I need to press Q. Oh, they have a really big ult, Punisher, Strange, something like that. Oh, save my team. That's how it works, right? WhiteFox is not that character. WhiteFox, you have to combine her ult and her melee form specifically to try to change the momentum of fights. Which is different than just being a defensive cooldown, right? So in order to do that, you have to understand who has advantage and why. And if you use your ult, can I change those factors? Am I a big enough factor to be able to make a difference? Okay. So if we look back here, I think there was a spot that we actually could have ulted. Let's rewatch it all the way back. Because this fight, now we see, right, that... Let's go back to a little too far. So right here, we have 6 people, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 people all about to start the fight. The payload's pretty far back. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have a slight positional advantage here, okay? They have a momentum advantage, but we have a positional advantage. So this is a situation where I wouldn't mind getting aggressive, especially now that we have 1 pick. I TP over here just like you did. Hopefully we save the Hawkeye. We didn't. Okay, that's fine. Now, this is really like do or die time. We have a 5v5. They have a bunch of momentum. This is the perfect time to get aggressive with your melee form or your ult, or preferably both. So you would do one and then transfer to the other. I would start with melee form, dive in, see if you can get some things, and then use ult when it's time to like really get a kill. This is the type of situation that you want to do that in. Now, it's the way that you approach understanding that. I think the simplest way is to, as you're playing, keep in mind who has the advantage. Is it us? Is it them? Is it neutral? Is it a hard advantage? Is it a soft advantage? Things like that. So if periodically you have that thought reoccur in your head, you be really active with it. Be like, who has advantage right now? Us. We do. Let's go. Who has advantage right now? Oh, they do. Back out, right? So once you build that knowledge, and then you go about it, by the way, of the exact thing that I just did, right? You start with numbers, okay? It's 5 versus 5. Then you look at positioning, okay? We're all close together. They're pretty spread out. Then you look at the cart. Then you look at ult advantage. Who has ults? Who doesn't have ult, right? And then you factor all those things in to figure out who has the advantage. Once you learn that, then you can really use WhiteFox to change the tide, which is exactly what this Captain America actually does. He's diving. He uses his ult because he knows that you guys have a slight advantage. And he's like, we need to take advantage of this right now. And what this does is it pulls you away from the team, just like it did earlier. Now you're going to be in melee form, but he's not going to die. So now he's fighting 1v2 and then 3. He's fighting 1v4. He's fighting 1v4. All because of his ult, and he can survive. Now this stranger's left alone. These two people can back out and like look at the advantage. Like this is something that you can actually do with WhiteFox. Yeah, no kidding. And then their WhiteFox does the exact same thing. He's like, all right, let's go in, right? Actually gets the kill and uses it as a offensive tool. Saves her team, gets a kill, capitalizes. It doesn't even matter if the WhiteFox dies now at this point because they're up so much. They have nobody to contest. And look, they get the point. Completely successful. So good. I don't get why people peel for Capel. He can't die. He's like an invulnerable mosquito. You just need to tolerate it for a little while. Yeah, for sure. That's kind of how Cap is in general. Okay, signs of life. Good. So normally I don't comment on mechanics, but we really do have to at this point. We've gone over several ways to train your mechanics on this channel. For a quick reminder, go to the practice range, go below the practice range, set up some Lunas, jumping around, random movement, and get really good at it. If you do that for 5 minutes every time before you do like a ranked session, you'll get so much better, right? The next thing, I don't know too much about because I don't really play on console. I don't use a controller, but there are different sensitivity settings you can mess with. I'd go look up a guide, something like that. But you're losing out on so much healing, so much damage, and so much ult charge that it really, you need to think about it. Oh. All right. So let's talk about everything we talked about, right? So right now, both of their supports died. Okay, so they have no supports. Their Emma is ulting, but they have no momentum. Strange just ulted in their backline. So we have a huge numbers advantage. We have a huge positional advantage as well. We have control of the cart. We have high ground. We have all the cover in the world. And then we can't push out into here because then we don't have a positional advantage. So we have no ground to take, no space to take. We have no threat of them taking our space. And we have a huge advantage. So with all of that taken into consideration, now we know this is just a wasted ult. There's no reason to ult here. Because you guys have already won this fight, like, decisively. When you could be using this ult earlier to win a fight that was losable, or you can use it for the next fight to win a fight that was losable. And now we use a 12-second cooldown to get out. These things start getting... And now we don't have it! And now we don't have it! Our Moon Knight almost dies. Luckily, he gets the kill. I was going to say, in higher elo, you get punished for it. You almost got punished for it immediately. Like, just lucky the enemy WhiteFox is worse. The invis saves. Actually, do we get punished for it? Dang. Alright, so this is a really long VOD. So I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna stop slowing down as much. Because now we've already nailed like the same, it looks like the big patterns, right? We used our teleport. Now we're gonna get punished by Jeff because we don't have it. Luckily, we still have melee form, but now we don't have teleport or melee form. Okay. All right, so that's something we need to be careful of. There's a rule in Overwatch that a friend of mine always played for Kiriko, and it's you don't teleport to a Doomfist ever. I think that's true here. You only want to teleport if you are in no danger of dying and you have no other option, right? Here, you can still heal the Strange if you step to here, right? He doesn't need the shield. He doesn't need the burst healing. You can just step here and shoot him. And then now your positioning isn't out of whack. And now, oh my gosh, there's a blade in my face. Look, he didn't even make it to you. He literally couldn't do any damage if you just stood here. Another golden rule for supports is just your life is more valuable than your teammate's life. So if somebody on your team is critical, so this is a perfect example of like how staggers happen, right? If somebody on your team is critical, but you're going to die in order to save them, it's not worth it. Let them go. They can respawn and regroup. Because here, you teleport, it doesn't save them anyway. And now you're in danger. You don't have a 12-second cooldown. And now you don't have your melee form either, or Tails. So not only did we not save them, but now the Strange also died, and the Scarlet Witch died. By the time they get back, it's just a lost fight. So you have to like let them go, and play for the next fight. Whew. Wow, I can't believe we did that. That's a Moon Knight ult. Wow, that is an impressively bad Moon Knight ult. Holy. Alright, but we have our WhiteFox ult. So, this is going to be really difficult to hold this. Oh. Are we in preemptive melee form? So something that we haven't talked about with the charm, your LT, with your tail, is it actually does give, correct me if I'm wrong here, chat, but I didn't know that it actually does give some, like, immunity to your team. I don't know how much it is, but I'm pretty sure you can actually save people from getting like range ulted, Jeff ulted, stuff like that. So something to keep in mind. It's legit invincibility. Yeah, that's what I thought. So here, you can't use that ability if you're in melee form. So the better thing to do is to get away from your team and then look at who is most vulnerable and be ready to charm. It might not be worth it because the timing is really difficult. Like, you would have to have really fast reactions, but it's worth thinking about. All right, let's talk about this ult. So, what's the point of ulting here? I would assume that you wanted to give the CC immunity to the Scarlet Witch. Definitely not really worth it. You want to use it for that. Yeah, I think you guys are right. I see what you're saying in chat. I appreciate it. I think we'll do that for the next one.
The current score is 0-2.
I'll finish this one, but from now on we'll do that.
Time to switch things up, including which side you're on. You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
I'd say a week, honestly. What's up, Chaosism? How's it going?
Get that vehicle to its destination.
All right, so this is a second where I actually wish you used it a little bit before, not to teleport, but your charm. So charm here, you have people who are low, you have a ton of people lined up, and you have 3 tails. Okay. And you have a diver in your back line. So this does so many different things that the value is like totally worth it. Oh, why are we stopping? Controller died? Controller died? What happened? That's unfortunate.
You're halfway there. Keep going.
Oh boy. The rift is getting bigger, and from the looks of it,
Yeah, those aggressive teleports are just so bad. Oh, we're AFK again. All right, so this is something I haven't pointed out yet, but it's really important to understand the difference between a soft dive and a hard dive. So what this cap is going for right now is a soft dive. Not here. He's not diving it. He pushes the Moon Knight off, gets a kill, and then just gets out. Right? He's not here to like actually dive for a long time. So you going into melee form here, you're not going to chase him down. You're not going to kill him. And you are going to stop healing up here, which forces your Invis to get her ult out. So you're just playing into his hands like perfectly. So one of the things that I learned playing against WhiteFox was like, at the beginning of a game, I try really hard to gauge the enemy WhiteFox and see if I can spook them into using their melee form, because it's a 15-second cooldown, and while it's active, they can't heal their front line unless they get in danger. So be really careful. Understand the difference between a soft dive and a hard dive. charm. A little bit late on the melee form. Please don't ult. You need to get out. You don't have a... One of your supports is dead. Okay. This is a good ult. This is a momentum-changing ult. That was great. This is what you want to see, right? This is not just purely defensive. We see, okay, our Moon Knight is dead, right? So we're down 1. They have a bit of an advantage, and they're trying to push it. But our Strange is ulting. We know their WhiteFox already ulted. And so this is, like, great. Then, so we save him. We heal our team. We do damage. And then we CC immunity, hopefully. We CC immunity the Scarlet Witch. And that was great. This is like the ideal. We turn a losing fight into a winning fight. Back out, back out, back out. That was good. That's the ideal. That was a good TP too. Nice. Yeah, so get used to canceling the melee form early. If you don't need it, just cancel it. You start the cooldown immediately, so the 15 seconds starts ticking down, and you get back to healing at a long range. That's a terrible Psylocke ult. I'm so glad you didn't TP to your team.
I'm hit. Cover me. Stronger already. Need some help. My spirit steadies. We won't fail to fight this.
This is really bad. So while you're over here, not only are you in big danger, you're also not capable of helping your team.
Fox on the run.
Yeah, not good. Okay, we're seeing the same old problems, right? We're throwing out our TP when we don't need it. I actually don't mind this time of going into our melee form and getting aggressive. I think that's fine. You want to save your TP for if it doesn't work, right? And now that you got the kill, yeah, leave. See, because if we had the TP there, we get the kills, we have huge momentum, and we get out. So we turned a neutral fight into a big win into kind of more of a neutral fight. And then we TP in and get immediately punished by the Jeff, but he's bad, so it's fine. Oh yeah, good stuff, Caesar and Churro. Thanks. Little late, but again, we take a negative momentum, right? We take it where the enemy team has advantage and we don't, and we turn it into a big advantage for our team, and then we TP out. That's great.
Well, that's better. Spider Zero must reach the shrine. Let's get this show up the road.
Once again, your default should be charm here. If you charm her, she dies, and you continue healing, and then you still have your melee form. Much better. Yeah.
Time for the big finish.
Yeah, we gotta have some intentionality.
Back to battle. The vehicle reached a checkpoint.
How you guys get
Keep up
that?
the momentum. Stay close. Spider Zero knows these webs better.
All right. I don't mind that charm. I don't mind that at all. So now that they have an ult, we gotta get out. Fortunate.
Fox on the run. I'm hurt. May Khonshu show you mercy. Thanks so much.
No, stop. You just blow all of your abilities and then you don't have them when you need them. I knew you were gonna ult there. So you already have a huge advantage here. You don't need the ult, but I can understand it. Who do you even have left? The Lord.
The final 10 seconds. That's it. Don't let anything stand in your way.
You guys are really lucky. Their Jeff is just like terrible.
You'll have to keep fighting until
You guys have lost so many fights, and then the Jeff ults, gets nobody, and dies, and then you guys win the fight. Holy, you got lucky. Died anyway. Ah.
I've survived so much worse. It's the grand finale.
And there goes the Jeff again.
I'm hit. Team strike. So close. This is your big chance. I'm hit. Cover me.
All right, I think we're gonna stop there. This does go a long ways, but yeah, if we're gonna narrow it down to just a couple things, number one, the biggest thing to understanding WhiteFox as a character is figuring out which team has the advantage, which team is disadvantaged, and why. And once you know that, then you can use her abilities and her ult in order to change the advantage and the disadvantage. So that's the big picture scale that I would look at. Number two is we went into depth of like what each of her abilities does and how to use them. So once you understand the advantage and the disadvantage, then you can know, okay, now we know what my abilities do and how they affect the advantage and disadvantage. And then the third thing would be really specific with your mechanics. We really got to narrow down our aim and how that works. And just, especially since we didn't watch the full thing, let me go into practice range and show you real quick. Just in case. If you already know this, that's fine. Just skip ahead. But the best thing you can do is you jump over here. You can either go through that portal or down here manually, right? To this. This is great. This is going to be your friend. I do Luna Snow, random, short range, movement. I put it on random a lot of the times. 3 health restore, 2 minutes is fine. Then you do this, right?
4, 3, 2, 1.
And you just get used to this. So aiming on this character is actually pretty difficult. And you really need to be intentional. Like, a lot of people were like, oh, she's just another cloak and dagger. She's not. You have to be very good at aiming because of what we talked about at the very beginning. You lessen how much damage you do. You lessen how much healing you do. You lessen how much ult charge you do if you don't actually hit your shots. Like, if you're playing... Look at the difference between that and cloak and dagger. Like, this... Look how far away I can aim and actually still hit. This is a huge difference. So, do this I would do this at least twice. Like, try to get 5 minutes before each of your ranked sessions, and over time, you will build a big consistency. Anyway, that's it for this VOD review. Thank you so much. Again, I apologize for it being so late. It was just beginning of the season plus Easter. So anyway, take care. God bless. See you guys next time. Bye.